Hey guys, and welcome back to the Sokool Brothers Racing Podcast presented by Big R. I'm Justice Sokool Racing, or the Lawman.
And I'm Colby Sokool Racing, or Little Smoke.
Colby, how you doing today?
I'm not doing too bad, actually. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I graduate tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, big day for you.
Yeah, finally done with school, and then kind of, I guess, I don't know, see where things go from there. We're gonna go spend the summer in Indy, and I don't know, hopefully could just go from there, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's exciting. You know, it hasn't really hit me yet. You know that I'm graduating, but I bet you tomorrow I'll just be like wow.
Has it hit you like high school went by really fast, or does it feel like it took a while to get through high school?
The first 2 years, I felt like because we were always there. You know, I had classes there all the time, and then when I started taking the college class, my junior year wasn't so much like that. And then this year I wasn't really there a whole lot. But like today we had a rehearsal, and we're recording this on Thursday, and we had to walk out in the hallway for so like we could do the line or whatever to go back in the building. And I was walking through the hallway, and I was like, man, I'm like, this is like my last time in the school. You know, it's just kind of crazy. You know, it's crazy. We spent 4 years there, and 4 years ago we weren't in this. We were in this position. You know, still racing these ABM chassis, but it was different. You know, but it's been great. You know, I've been having a loads of fun, and it wasn't bad. You know.
Yeah.
It was just high school, but I'm ready to just be able to put all my focus into racing and just make that my career. I think it'll be good. Not worrying about school too much. Like we were able to do both at the same time, but I think it'll be a little bit different when I'm not. Come August, I don't have to come back to Colorado and go to school. You know, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be cool. We'll see how tomorrow will be fun.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that you think you're gonna miss from high school or from school in general?
I honestly don't think anything. You know, I was happy when I took my college class that I didn't have to go to the high school, you know, because I felt like I was doing something I actually enjoyed. And I didn't really have like a whole lot of like friends at the high school. I made a lot of really good friends at the college, and it'll be different not seeing them. You know, I saw them for 2 years. I've been great friends with those guys, but I honestly can't answer that question because I don't really think I'll miss anything, you know, because ever since we've been in school, we've always been like, man, I just wish we didn't have to go to school, you know, come on a Sunday, didn't have to wake up and go to school on a Monday, or come back at the end of summer and stuff like that. And now that it's actually here, like I said, it hasn't really hit me yet, but I don't know, it's kind of exciting that the whole new opportunity, a whole new, I guess, what does everybody say, a chapter or something like that's about opening now. I mean, my last high school class was last Monday. That was the last time I went to school. And but I don't know, it hasn't been bad, and I don't know, you got 1 year left. How was your junior year? 'Cause you're done.
It went by a lot faster than I thought it would.
Yeah.
You know, I had classes there, but then with like my off periods and then the racing, like I really feel like this year I didn't spend like as much time as I did the 2 years before in high school itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was easy. It was chill, if you want to say.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything that was like too hectic.
Out of all 3 years that you've been in high school, what year has been your favorite? Like if you could rank them first, second, or third.
I'd have to say it'd be like my junior, freshman, and then sophomore year.
Yeah.
Just because like my junior year, like I said, it was easy. You know, I started driving. I don't know, just a lot more exciting things happened.
Yeah.
And then like my freshman year, it was cool. It was like a new experience.
Yeah.
You know, something new that you're getting into, and it's like, all right, this is the last 4 years of school, unless you know, and then I don't know. It was different.
You didn't really like your sophomore year?
My sophomore year, I never really had that much fun.
Was last year.
Yeah, that was the year when, like, you know, well, basically all my friends are, you know, in your grade, and like you guys would all be at the college or something like that, and I don't know. It was just weird. It wasn't my favorite year, but it wasn't a bad year. I don't know.
Yeah, if I had to rank them, I would say my senior year would be first, which is your junior year. Then I have to say my sophomore year, which was your freshman year. And then I have to say my junior year. Did I already say junior? Then my junior year, which was your sophomore year. Did I already say your sophomore year?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, I'm just making sure. And then my least favorite, which I mean, I think my junior year and my freshman year are kind of tied. I mean, freshman year was kind of cool, like you said, it was a new opportunity. And my junior year, I mean, it wasn't bad. I just like you said a lot this school year. I think a lot. I don't know, not like a lot more, not really like exciting things happened, but it just felt different. Felt good. Like my sophomore year, your freshman year, we had just come back from Indiana. That first time we stayed out there, and I don't know, that was a good, just a pretty good school year, because later that school year I started driving, later that school year I started driving, and then like come March I could drive you and Hayden, and it was, I don't know, it was good. That was probably second, but I don't know, it was cool. It wasn't bad. I mean, we never really, I mean, maybe a little bit, like sophomore year, I went to like a bunch of school events, stuff like that, and kind of my junior year, and we wanted to go more my last year, some of us and our friends, but we never did because we were always gone. We still went to the homecomings and proms and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. I think this year's were actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And but I don't know, I was never really like one of those people to like go out like every Friday night and sit in the front row of the football games, and we didn't go to a lot of volleyball or basketball games or whatever else, because we're always doing something else. And to me, that was just fine because it wasn't. I mean, it was kind of cool to go like to a homecoming football game or just some of them, but not
all of them.
not all of them. I just didn't really feel like I wanted to do all that. And honestly, yeah, we didn't really go to much school event stuff.
We really didn't. Yeah, like you said, we didn't go to much. I feel like we were always doing something, or we had had something going on, and it was just, I don't know.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't one of those things where we would go to all those.
Yeah, I went to Senior Sunrise in
you did all
August,
you did all the senior
but
events.
the only senior one I didn't do was Senior Sunset because I think we went out to Callahan and helped some friends of ours, which that was okay if I missed because I was at that point I was kind of already just like I just want to be done. Like when my college class ended before we went to Macon. That felt good to get that all done, and then my high school class ended like the next Monday, and I didn't have to take any finals, and it just kind of just went by fast. School year was a good school year. I thought,
Yeah.
I kind of geeked out a little bit. Not really. I like as in like lettering. I got a letter this school year, like holding a 3.5 GPA. All my whole senior year. I think I had like a 4.2 my whole senior year. But, I mean, I only had 3 high school classes, and honestly, they weren't that hard. Like, they weren't, like, math or anything like that. But first semester, me and you had a class together. That was pretty cool.
That was fun.
Yeah, and then the next semester, which was this semester, I had to sit in that same exact class with all those people without justice and a bunch of juniors and stuff like that. And I just sat in the back of the classroom and got my work done and got 98% in the class. And I was like, okay, I'm done with it. But
yeah. Out of all like the homecomings and proms that you went to through all 4 years of high school, like what year was like the best?
So I'll say for prom because I only went to 2. Well, I went to 3, but 2 at our school. I have to say first was this year and second was last year because last year it was me and my date and then that was it. There's nobody else. This year it was me and my date and then there was. I mean, just when there's a big group of people, I feel like it's a lot better. And if I were to rank homecomings, last would have to be homecoming year, or my homecoming year, because I just didn't like it. I think second would probably have to be sophomore year. Third would have to be junior year, and then fourth have to be senior year. So I think every year just got better.
Yeah.
How about you?
I've only been to one prom, but it was a lot of fun.
It was actually a lot of fun.
I enjoyed going to prom. We had our group of friends and everybody, and and then homecomings. I'd have to say it was probably my junior year, which was this year. I don't know, that homecoming was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to say my freshman year, and then my sophomore year last. I don't know. Sophomore. They're all fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
I enjoy going to that stuff.
I think sophomore homecoming. Your sophomore, my junior was the one that we all matched when we went in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all which I thought it was cool. And then I hear from Justice and our friends later, they're like, "Yeah, I don't know why we did that. We look so dumb." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, everybody knew who we were. We walked in. We're all in like the same button-up shirt. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was fun. So for me, high school's over. My pretty much I would say my schooling's over. I'm not gonna go to college or any trade school. I kind of did trade school the past 2 years with my high school through my high school, and that was good. But I just want to race, full time. I want to make that my career. I want to be one of those guys that can make a living off of running a sprint car, a midget, and a micro. I just want to keep racing, because that's what I love to do, and I feel like now we're already far enough down the road. I feel like that if it's something I really want to do, then I think I should put all my time and effort into it. And I feel like I have, ever since we've been racing, I feel like I always put my time and effort. But now that I'm done with school, I feel like I'll be able to devote all of my time and effort into racing. And I don't know, it's kind of exciting, actually.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know the way things are sounding. It sounds like I won't have any race cars to mess with back here for a little bit when I come back for school. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. It's a awesome thing to.
Yeah, I'll give you a call like every day.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll pick up. I'll pick
Yeah,
up.
no, you won't, bro. You will not pick up my phone call.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I will.
But
yeah, I'm excited for
you're
you.
gonna have senior year all by yourself.
I know. I was thinking. I don't know. That hit me. I was like, wow. I'm going into senior year. Colby's not gonna be here.
One of our other friends isn't gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm like, gosh,
Hayden's-
literally everybody that I'm friends with, they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to the college, and of course, the 1 year I do go to the college for welding, Colby, you're not gonna be there. Our other friend who was in welding ain't gonna be there. So
Yeah, but those would still be some of the other kids like that I knew that were there the first year. You'll see
Yeah.
them second year, but
I don't know. It'll be fun.
yeah, it'll be fun. But so since the last time we talked to you guys, we went to 2 races. We went out to Macon, Illinois, and ran the KKM there.
All right, hold up before we move on.
What?
What'd you think of Macon? Really fast tracked.
I actually really liked that track. I mean, that was probably I won't say that's the fastest I've ever gotten to micro, but that was the fastest pace I've ever gotten to micro. Carrying that much speed through the corner and being able to hold that lap after lap, I thought that was cool, and I actually thought it was a pretty cool track,
Yeah.
I thought the second night, although the heat races and the qualifiers it was real bumpy on the bottom, I actually thought the feature raced a lot better on the second night than it did the first night.
Yeah, I feel like it accommodated to the
A little bit of
To the-
two-lane racing.
yeah
a little bit.
a little bit like on the restarts when nobody had momentum, like you can make either lane work, and it wasn't like how the first night was where people were just sliding straight to the top, and it was like fight to the death to get to the top.
'Cause on the
as
first
fast as you
night-
can.
Like especially in 1 and 2, and even actually on the second night, but mainly on the first night, it was so slick to the top, and then there was there wasn't really a curb.
It was just kind of like
It was just there.
it
was
was
just there.
It was something to like.
But
lay
everybody was
into.
just like killing each other up there. Like only 10 cars finished, and I finished 10th. I got I spun out, got tangled together with another car with 3 laps to go, and then I got to 9th place once we restarted, and I slid him once, and he crossed me back over. I'd wait another lap and do it again, and he just kept going back and forth. I'm like, dude, we're in I don't know. I felt like I was clearly faster. Maybe I should have just not slid him every lap, but I was I feel like I'm way faster than you. But it was so I finished 10th, but it was that then the second night 3 and 4 was a lot more, I guess, shallow kinda. It wasn't so high up, but in 1 and 2 there was no curb. It was the wall.
Yeah.
There was just crumbles up there, and then right at exit, maybe 2 or 3 car lengths from the end of the wall before you come on and off the racetrack, there was a big push up of dirt.
Yep.
And at the beginning, you could go in there and hit it and come off of it, but then at the end, it was just gone. It got so slick up there. But
Yeah.
so how did you do on the first night, Justice?
The first night it went all right. We qualified pretty good in our group.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't make up any spots in the heat race. I think we went 4 to 4 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then in the qualifier, we didn't make up any. Actually, I lost a spot in the qualifier, or I lost 2 spots in the beginning, and then I was racing my way back up, and then it was just I was getting slid, and I just came around the outside of them, and I had a run, and then they didn't stop their car, and they hit my left rear, and it slid me into the fence, and then I like thankfully it was the last lap, so I was able to finish. But um, we ended up having to run a B main, and then I came from like I think I started third, fell back to fourth, and then uh, slid third place and ended up finishing third in the B main. So I started 21st,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know. I just knew with the way the track was and the way that everything was racing, like it was just one of those races where you had to be patient. Like
Yeah.
starting that far back, like
Where'd you start again?
21st.
Okay, yeah.
Like starting that far back, it was one of those things where I was like, if I can just hold out the big storm of everybody else trying to kill themselves getting to the front,
Yeah.
then I'll be fine. Like just pick them off. Like say somebody sliding the car in front of me, I'll go with them. Like I'm gonna cross them back over and go with them. Like you know, I wasn't really that aggressive at the beginning, and then I think probably halfway I was like up in 15th or something, and then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere on one of those choose cone starts, I chose the top, and then everybody like chose the bottom, and I was like, okay, that's fine, and then like literally on the restart, I think 3 cars were throwing like 7 cars from the inside were just throwing sliders to the top, so I just lifted, turned down the track, and I gained like 6 spots there, and then that was when I got around you, and
Yeah.
then a bunch of other people, and then I just rode around up there in like fifth, and then got into the lock-in spot, and then Frank Flood, he played a smarter race than me and was able to get around me after me and another racer were battling for the final lock-in spot, and then he just had the knowledge and picked me off, and then drove away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. The first night it was pretty good. 21st to 5th was really good.
Yeah, for sure.
How'd your second night go?
Well, I never said my first night yet.
Oh, well then talk about your first.
So
night.
my first night, I qualified 4th out of 8 cars in my group. That put me starting pole the heat race. I won that. In the qualifier, I started second, finished second. And then the A feature, I started 8th. I think I'd maybe got to 6th or something like that at one point. And then Justice got around me. And then I had like these 2 guys like slid each other. And I turned down and was coming down. And the one guy up top like turned down and like split the middle between us. And then it we touch, and then I like hop his lefter and then spun out on the exit of the corner, and I was like, oh, that sucks. So then we finished 10th. So we weren't too bad, I think both of our cars actually, because we tried some different things going there, and I feel like they actually did work out. Like they were good. And then on the second night, I qualified first in my group at 8 cars. In the heat, I started 4th. Didn't pass any cars. I think actually I got the 3rd. And then I lost it on the last lap, coming out of 3. And then in the qualifier, I started 7th, finished 4th. Then I had to run a B feature. I started 2nd. Got the guy on the start and just
checked out.
Just checked out and won that. And then so in the A feature, I started 18th and kind of played it cautious like what Justice did or was telling me to do beforehand because I was talking to him. And then we had got all the way up to like 6th or 7th, something like that, and then I ended up coming out with the 5th place finish. So it wasn't too bad, I think we're just a little too tight on entry, especially into 1 and 2. But that 18th to 5 wasn't too bad, we came out with a good 5th place finish, which was one of my goals going there, was that I wanted to get a top 5 at one of these because I hadn't other than Port City last year. But so it wasn't too bad. How about you, Justice? How was your second night?
The second night, I definitely didn't drive as smart as I needed to. The car was good and everything, and I just made a mistake and wasn't able to get into the feature. But to start off the night, I qualified 3rd in my group, and then I started 2nd in the heat, and I ended up finishing 3rd. And then in the qualifier, I started 7th, and I ended up finishing 5th. And then in the B main, I started 3rd, and I was like riding around there, and then I just stayed on the bottom too long, and the top built its momentum up, and then I when I got up to the top, I was like back in 7th or 6th, and then they only took top 4, so I raced up, got around 5th place, and then I was reeling in 4th, and then on the last lap I threw a slider in 3 and 4, and just wasn't able to make it stick, and they crossed me over, and they were able to drive off with it. So we didn't end up making the feature on the second night, but it's it was all good. We cleared it off, and then we just moved on to the next weekend.
Yeah. Which so it was a short week for us. Got home on Sunday and loaded the cars and stuff. Justice washed them on Monday. And then we were originally planning on not going for practice, but then after the way Macon race, we were like I think we should go to practice. And our dad was like, he goes, well, I can't drive out there. And I was like, well, just let me and Justice take the Dodge and the trailer. And I said, you and Mom can meet us out there in the motorhome. And then they were talking, and they were like, well, talking to me, they're like, do you think you can drive the motorhome and trailer out there? Just you and your brother. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I'll do it. I'll get us to the racetrack. So we did. And actually, our mom ended up coming with us because she didn't have to work on Thursday. So we went out there, and I'm glad we did go out on Thursday for practice because, I mean, yes, I was glad we went out there because it was way different than the last time we were. But, we were, Thursday night, I did not feel like my car was very good. You know, I just felt like there were so many ruts out there, and I felt like I couldn't get through them. I changed all the stuff on the car, and then, come Friday, I was just second-guessing myself all day long. I did not know what to do to the car. You know, I was just, confused. And I talked to my dad, talked to Adam, and they were like, well, when you're running it out of the ruts, they were like, was it good? And I was like, I didn't think we were too bad. And they're like, okay, we'll just leave it, and you can tweak on it here or there. So we did, and night one actually went very well for us. That was probably one of our best prelim, or my best prelim night ever at a KCAM race. They didn't have qualifying because their transponders were having issues in practice. So I started fifth in my heat, finished third. Then the qualifier started second, and I got back to third. I fell back third because we were the first race out after the rework, and then the two guys in front of me, they kind of slid up, and I was able to turn down and get both of them, and I won that. So that put me starting third in the feature, and then I was running in second like all race long, and actually I fell back to fifth. I fell back to fifth kind of early.
Yeah.
The first couple laps, and then because it was all on the bottom, and I could pick guys off. They were trying to run the top, and then on one of the choose cones, I was in third, and the guy in second picked the inside, I think. Or no, I was in fourth. And he picked the outside, so I went into the inside, and then I was able to get the two guys on the outside on the start. So then I was in second, and then the guy in front of me going into 3 and 4, right before halfway, he just overshot 3 and 4, and I got underneath him, and then the race went green to checkered from there. And so I ended up coming out with our first ever preliminary win at one of those, and it was great. You know, I was really stoked that I was able to get one of those. You know, I'd wanted for so long, and that was one of my goals for Went to Macon, was I wanted to lock in, and we did. We won it, and we were good. You finished, which I know you're gonna talk about it. You finished second, so it was a 1-2 Sokool for us, and it was a really good night for us. You know, so it was our cars I thought were pretty good, and I don't know, overall that was a good night. It was fun. So
Yeah, it was a good night. You know, practice night. I tried quite a different bar combinations and stuff, just seeing what stuff did, and you know, we found something that we thought was good, and then on Friday, it was I went out for hot laps, and you know, I just wasn't as good as I wanted to be. You know.
yeah,
So we tried some stuff with what we had in the car, and from after hot laps, and then we ended up going 7th to 6th in the heat race, and I wasn't satisfied with what the car was doing yet. So then before the qualifier, I made a bar change and went back to something that I was confident in.
yeah,
In the qualifier, we ended up going 6th to 4th, and I was just being patient and running the bottom and trying to run through the middle and the top and just get around people when they'd make a mistake in front of me, and I was able to make up 2 spots. But then that put me starting on the pole of the B feature, so we started on the pole of that and led the whole thing from green to checkered, and we ended up starting 17th in the feature, and then from there, I think within the first 6 laps, I cracked into the top 3. We were just it was all around the bottom, and everybody was trying to run through the middle and the top, and you know, there's a handful of people who could who could hold it down around the bottom, and they were up closer to the front, so I was able to pick off a bunch of the cars closer to the back that were missing the bottom. So I made up a bunch of spots there, and like I said, cracked the top 3 within the first 6 laps, and then we rode around there, and then we fell back to 5th for a couple laps, and then I was just waiting for the people in front of me to try and go up and run the top, and then I started, missing my marks on the bottom a little bit, and then, it must have made people think that the top was coming in, so then they went up there and they were ripping the top, and then I started hitting the bottom good, and then I was able to drive up into second, and then Colby, I was just watching him, he's running a perfect race, perfect line the whole time, never missed the bottom once, and ran the bottom like a champ there up in the lead, and was able to come out with the win. And I don't know, I was ecstatic. I was really excited.
That was really cool, yeah.
Like I after the white flag lap, I was like, oh come on, just hold on, this would be awesome. And then, I crossed the line, and I was like, holy crap, we really just finished first and second on a prelim night at one of these races. Like it was awesome. And then I come driving up past Colby, and I was pumping my fist out the side of the car, and I could tell he was confused. And then all of a sudden on the receiver, they're like Sokool, the other Sokool, and then Robinson and Reese, and they called us all to the infield. And then after all that, Colby was telling me how he was like, oh, I thought that you were just excited for me, and then all of a sudden they said that you finished second.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was really cool.
That was pretty cool.
And what made it even better was how Grayson, with Global CM, was able to be there and experience that with us, and was able to we
were glad he was there, and that was a good night. The second night, it didn't go bad, but it didn't go as well as I think we were hoping for. Because we locked in, and you started third because they did off of points. I started pole, you started third, and we went out for lock-in hot laps, and we weren't very good at all.
We were way too tight.
Justice practiced third, I practiced fourth. So we went back, and we were like, man, I don't know if because the night before the track, it was on the bottom, and there was a lot of grip at the beginning, but then the entries of the corners slicked off fast. So I was thinking, and I was like, I think this track is gonna slick off a lot. We want to be there. It's only 30 laps, I said, but we want to be there. The whole race. So we're like, okay. So we loosened them up a little bit. We went out there, and I led the first 6 laps, and then got passed for first, and then was in second, and then got passed for third 5 laps later, and then the last lap I got passed for fourth. So I finished fourth, but we just made the wrong choice on the cars before we went out there, and it sucked because I feel like our cars were good all weekend, or at least they're really good on Friday, and then I just feel like we just missed our mark on come the big show, and it cost us. Well, it wasn't too bad, I still finished fourth, so top 5s both in the final nights, both of the weekends, Macon and Dodge City, so it wasn't too bad. It just kind of a bummer, I thought we were gonna do better, but it still, honestly, it wasn't a bad weekend. That was probably one of our best weekends as a team at one of those KKM races, so it felt good. And how'd your night go, Justice?
We ended up going started third in the feature and ended up finishing 6th. So we didn't gain any spots. We lost 3 spots, but I wasn't disappointed walking away from the weekend, just because I knew, I was the first night made it just brought the mood up a lot. Yeah. It was something that, you don't get to see or feel or experience a lot. So that was really cool. And then going into the second night, I was confident with what we had. And then, it was hard. We only had 4 laps on that track, and everybody else had 20 more laps than we did to get their cars dialed in and figure out the setup. But, I'm not upset with how we finished. We just needed more laps, and that's the only thing I don't like about locking in is, you just get your lock-in hot laps, and then you have to go from there to the feature and just try something. Really, that's all you can do.
Yeah, but it wasn't a bad weekend. First, wasn't a bad 2 weekends actually. I felt like we were pretty good. I feel like we were better than we started off the year with our stuff. But so we've raced, I think I counted earlier, 15 or 16 races this year so far. We've been to Texas, Oklahoma, California, Illinois, and Kansas. So we raced 5 different tracks, 6 different races. So out of all of them, what has been your favorite track? And I want to know the night too, like night 1, night 2, whatever. And what class? Because some of the times we ran 2 classes.
I don't know. I don't know. Macon was a fun track, but out of them all, I'd have to say probably night or probably the A feature night of the milestone at Port City
Really?
with Winged Outlaw.
Really?
Yeah, I like that track. It was different. It had character up around the top, and you just
Then it caught rubber at the end.
then it caught rubber at the end. But I don't know. I like that track. It moved around throughout the feature, and I feel like you could run top or bottom for most of the race.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to say that. How
So
about
so
you?
would you say, because we ran all 4 classes this year so far, would you say that's been your favorite class you've ran this year? Would it be Outlaw Wing?
Yeah, I love running Outlaw Wing. I don't know. There's just something about it that's just fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that class a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So how about you?
I mean, I want to say Dodge City last weekend on Friday because I won, but I don't know. Like again, Macon was fun, but I think it was night. Might have been like night 2 in California or something like that, maybe. That I felt like I moved up to the field and we were pretty good, and I thought the track raced really well. And I don't. First time we went to Plaza, and we came back home, I didn't like it. It wasn't a good weekend. But this last time, I thought it was pretty good. So I'd have to say either that, or I'm gonna say that. I think it was like night 2 of when we went out there for the KKM at Plaza Park. I thought that was probably my favorite so far racetrack, or my most one I had most fun at or whatever so far this year. And then if I were to say my class, it'd probably be Nominating Outlaw. I love running Nominating Outlaw. That's probably my favorite class to run, really.
Yeah. I mean, if we went off of, I don't know, night 2 they're at.
Well, you can't change your answer.
Well,
now.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Night 2 at Plaza Park. That was a fun night.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
But I don't know. There's just something about big wing racing at Port City that's just fun.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. It's been a pretty good year so far. We're our year's just getting started, really. We're off for the next couple weeks, and then we'll get ready and we'll go out to Indiana for the summer for everything. So our first race out there is the Big Dance at US 24 Speedway. So I'm a non-wing outlaw. So I'm excited to go back out there. We did pretty good last year, and I like running 24. I think I just enjoy running that track. It's pretty fun. It's really challenging. It's tough, but I like running there.
Yeah, I really like running at 24 too. I'm excited to get back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I miss that track. It's fast. Always builds a curb, and it's fun.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how it goes. We'll I don't know, catch you guys on the next one. That was a good podcast. So I feel like we talked, and like we always say, if you guys have anything you guys want us to talk about, just let us know. Put it in the comment section or share it, do whatever. Always like and share these. We love to get them out there, get more popular. And as always, we got to thank Big R for presenting this podcast to us. And then some of our big sponsors, Global CM, Window World, Big R, Rainbow Sprinkler, DRP, ABM Chassis, Yoshimura, England Machine and Tool, Peakview Plumbing. There's a lot of people that always put their hard work and effort into the race team. And Justice, I know you got some more sponsors to say. This is the name.
Yeah, without the help of all the ones you said, Orange Fox, ABA, Wagner's Fabrication, Next Level Lending, Sharp Advantage Safety Products, 719 Mechanical, K1 Race Gear, Rainbow Sprinkler, Peakview Plumbing, Motool, ZMAX Race Products, Autotech Plaza.
The Thomas family, yep.
Yep, the Thomas family. RAR Car. There's so many sponsors that we have, and none of this would be possible without the help of them all. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. And as always, I guess, thank you guys for watching this podcast. Until next time, I'm Colby Sokool Racing, or Little Smoke.
And I'm Justice Sokool Racing, or the Lawman, and this is episode number 4 of the Sokool Brothers Racing Podcast.
I believe so, yeah.
Presented by Big R.
Yep.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
Yep, thank you.